Indonesia has proposed a record $177.7 billion budget for 2020 in a bid to battle global headwinds and weak economic growth. Addressing Parliament earlier today, Indonesian President Joko Widodo laid out next year's state budget, which he described as expansive but targeted and measured. And the draft budget, which is 3% larger than 2019's, also sets an economic growth target of 5.3% in 2020. That's a slight rise from the 5.2% estimated for this year. If that forecast proves correct, it would make Indonesia the fastest growing, or give it its growth since 2013. Indonesia has also forecast a low inflation of 3.1%, down from the 3.3% measured in July last year. Mr. Widodo also recommended allocating $35.5 billion, or 20% of the annual budget, towards education. Our correspondent Chani Vadvani has all the details from Jakarta.
High hopes from President Joko Widodo, a bigger draft budget and higher economic growth forecast for 2020 from 2019. If realized, the 5.3% growth forecast for 2020 will be Indonesia's fastest growth pace since 2013, up from 5.2% growth projected by the government this year. Household consumption and investment will be the main driving forces, while inflation will be kept low at a 3.1% level to support the people's purchasing power. In his speech earlier, the president repeatedly issued warnings about global economic uncertainties, trade war, and a weak growth rate in some economies. But this is also where he really brought the spotlight on enhancing national competitiveness by focusing on the quality of human capital. He said when economies of other countries are slowing down, Indonesia's must be able to grow, and it can do so by developing its human capital.
Salah satu kuncinya adalah dengan terus meningkatkan daya saing nasional, dengan bertumpu pada kualitas sumber daya manusia. SDM yang berkualitas merupakan modal penting memasuki era ekonomi berbasis digital.
In line with his vision and mission to develop human capital, Mr. Widodo also recommended allocating 20% of the annual budget towards education. That's an increase of nearly 30% in the budget for education from 2015 to aid in boosting literacy. There will also be policies on job and teacher training, scholarship expansions, and social protection programs. Mr. Widodo also said that in order to reduce inequality between regions, the government will look at development outside of Java, including the planned transfer of Indonesia's capital to Kalimantan. The hope is that this will encourage new economic growth and promote equality and economic justice outside of Java. Infrastructure development and inter-regional connectivity will continue, along with tax reform. The government will also look to level the playing field for conventional businessmen and e-commerce to optimize tax revenue in this digital age. The budget proposals assumed a 2020 fiscal deficit of 1.76% of GDP, a yearly average rupiah exchange rate of 14,400 per dollar, and an average crude oil price of $65 a barrel. Chani Vadvani, CNA, Jakarta.